Hi everyone, so today I will be showing you the techniques we use to make a botanical line drawing. Now the foundation of any successful piece of botanical artwork is good observational study and an accurate line drawing. It's a core skill that enables you to represent your plant subject with precision. Now in botanical illustration, plants are usually drawn life-size unless we're trying to show very small elements such as the reproductive parts, the stamens, the anthers, etc. And we may draw those on a larger scale, which would be indicated. But for today's demonstration, we're going to stick to drawing life size. Now, I've got a little rhododendron leaf here. So I've chosen this because it's a relatively simple leaf to begin with, just for the demonstration. So the only things that we're going to need today is a pencil. I've got my mechanical pencil here, an eraser, and a ruler. Okay, so you don't have to have a rhododendron leaf. You can go and choose yourself a nice simple leaf from the garden, anything that's a nice just simple leaf shape that we want to begin with. Okay, so I'm going to, because my leaf is curled at the moment, and that's another type of drawing, I'm going to tape it down flat so that we can see exactly what we're working with. So let's just use a little bit of blue tack and put it on either end and just lay it down flat on the paper. Okay, so we'll put the top bit down and then we'll stick the stem. Okay, so it's a nice flat leaf, nice and simple to begin with, no curves. Okay, now the first thing I want to do when I'm doing a measured drawing is I want to make a bounding box. So a bounding box is a box that my line drawing is going to sit within, and it's measured. So let's do that. So first of all, we'll measure the length of the leaf from the tip of the leaf to the bottom of the stem using my ruler. So that's 7.1 centimeters. So let's make the length of my bounding box 7.1 centimeters. Oops, just broke the tip of my pencil. Okay, and I'm just going to write that to the side so that I can remember. Okay, now I want to take the widest part of the leaf. So let's have a look. So it's somewhere around here. So you can sort of go up and down with your rule just to make sure where the widest point is. And the widest point is 2.2 centimeters. So I can now continue to make my bounding box to fit. Now it doesn't look like it'll fit, does it? But it's not 2.2, it's 2.6, not 2.2. Monday morning, aren't they great? Okay, so 2.6, that's better. Okay, so now we can finish our bounding box. So we can take that up to 7.1. And then just close the box at the top. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that widest point of the leaf, which was around here. So work out where your widest point was again. And I'm going to work out the position of the midrib. So that's the central vein that runs all the way down the leaf. So the position of the midrib from the left-hand side is 1.3 centimeters. So we can come in 1.3 centimeters from this left-hand side, and that is the position of our midrib. So I can then put a line all the way down, and we've got the position of that central vein. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the stem here. So right at the edge where the leaflet hits the stem, we're going to measure that and that's 1.1 centimetres. So we're going to plot that. We're just going to plot a little point just there, and then we're going to measure the width of that little stem. So it's 2 millimetres. So we know that we can come 1 millimetre either side of that central midrib. Let's just mark it out, and I was almost bang on there. And then we can plot that in. Okay, so there's our stem. Okay, and our little stem here, it's sort of on an angle at the bottom, so we're just going to depict that and just put that little angle in there. Okay, so now we want to work out how far down the leaf was our widest point. So it was around here, wasn't it? 2.6, around there. So how far down the leaf is that? So it's around 2.8 centimetres down. So I'm going to go from the midrib, mark a little point where that 2.8 centimetres was. And then using my ruler, I'm just going to plot 2 little points here to show that that was the widest point of the leaf. So that is where I know that my leaf is going to touch my bounding box. Okay, so then the line around the edge, it makes it easier to draw that now. Now, if you wanted to, you could plot all the different points. So you could measure sort of this width here. Let's do that. So that's 1.8. And let's see how far down from the tip that is. So 1 centimetre down from the tip. So here comes out to 1.8, did we say? Let's just check again. Yeah, about 1.8. So the middle of 1.8 centimetres is 9. So if we go from the midrib and we measure 9 millimetres either side of that dot that we've just placed, that place marker. So 9 millimetres this way, 9 millimetres this way, and we can put 2 little dots. So make sure you've got 9, 1, 2, 3, 2 little dots. And then we know that that's where the tip flares out to that little wider bit there. So we could then start to draw that in. So we've got our tip here, and we can follow that flare and start to put this shape in. Okay, and then of course this then has a little bit of a bend and it continues round to that widest point. So we've got that little bit of a bend there, and then we can start to come around where our point touches the edge of the bounding box. We've got a little bit of a tiny dip in there. Don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can see that little bit of a dip, so I'm going to pop that in. So it's all about really observing your subject. Okay, so there's the top of our leaf. So we can continue now, and on the sides of the leaf blade here, it just comes out a little bit. You could plot all these measurements if you wanted to, going all the way up the leaf to make it easier. So you could plot every single little measurement going up so that you know that it's completely accurate. And then we'll follow around to meet that on the outside. And then again on this side. It's a little bit narrower here. Okay, and then we've got our basic leaf shape, our measured drawing. Now it's rather rigid at the moment, especially like where we've put the stem and stuff like that. So now you can start to add a bit more expression and make it a bit less rigid. So for example, the stem is very slightly curved at the bottom there. So I'm just going to flare it out a little bit, still keeping that angle at the bottom there. Okay, and I don't remove any of the marks on this line drawing, on this preparatory drawing. I keep everything just as it is. The only time I remove anything is if I've made a, you know, sort of a real error, and then I'd get rid of that. You can also mark your points here. So I forgot to mark this under here of this bounding box, and that was 2.6 centimetres. Again, you've got that same measurement there, so you could mark that if you wanted to. And then we had the 1.8 here, so you could mark that. Just so you've got a record of your different measurements. Okay. Right, so I hope this is all making sense so far. So the next thing we need to do is we need to plot in the main veins. Now, you can go down if you want to. And again, you can make measurements all the way down the midrib. You may need a magnifying glass for this if your eyesight's not great, or if you're working in poor light or whatever. And you can go all the way down each blade and measure out the points for the veins, and you can do the same on the other side. Measure it out, and then if you measure the point where the veins touch on this side as well, then you'll have the angle that you need to come out to. So let's just do one so I can show you exactly what I mean. So from the tip of the stem here, our first one starts at 1, 2, 3. So our first one starts at 4 millimeters from the tip of the stem. So we'll put a little dot there where it starts. Now, on this side, I can use my pencil, and I could if it was straight. Let me just get my rubber. I can use my rubber to give me a line and show me that it comes up 8 millimeters from here. So I can give myself a little benchmark. And then I want to come up 8 millimeters from there. And that's where my vein comes out to. So that's the angle of my vein. So it comes from here, and it's a little bit wibbly wobbly, and it comes out to there. Okay, now we can go up and we can plot all of those in using that method. So let's just do one more. So I'll work from this vein now, so from where it hits the midrib, and I'll come up. So we've got exactly 5 millimeters there. So I can mark that next vein on. And then again, I'm going to use my rubber as a straight edge. Look at the angle there, where it hits the edge. So that's 2 centimeters. And I've already got my place mark there. So I'll just come 2 centimeters up from here, and that's where my next vein comes out to. So I'm going to come from here, carefully look at the angle, it comes up, and then it comes out like that. Okay, and then we could just keep going and plotting all of our veins up that way. Or the other thing that you can do, if you've got a leaf that has really prominent veins on the back side and it's easier to see them that way, you can turn your leaf over like this and you can use the back side to plot the veins if you're having difficulty seeing them. Or the other thing that you can do, let's hope that it works. I'll just do a little section of it, is we can take some tracing paper. I'm just going to take a coloured pencil. So I've got one next to me. Let's have a look. Let's just take a grey. So we could turn our leaf over, take our tracing paper, pop it over the top, and we can do what's called a rubbing. I'll just do a little section of it. And then when you take the tracing paper away, your leaf pattern, I hope you can see that, your leaf pattern, because it's raised, you can see it through the tracing there. Let's do a little bit more. And you can take this down, you can do the whole leaf if you want to. And it gives you a really good representation of all the veins that maybe you can't quite see very well or that you've missed. Okay, so you can just see those veins there, and if you flip it round, it'll be that side of your leaf. So you'll be able to accurately see whether you've got them in the right place or not. Okay, so I've turned my leaf back over. I'll just go and plot all of those veins in now. Okay, so we've got our leaf drawn now. All of the veins are in, all of the prominent features, the midrib, the stem, the blades, everything's down to give us a really good, accurate, measured line drawing. So now we could go and do a nice tonal study of this leaf or paint the leaf, and we've got a lovely leaf portrait that's nice and accurate. So we can do this for the leaf at any angle. So you could turn it around, you could lay it on its side, and you could do a side view of the leaf, and you do exactly the same. So we'd make our bounding box for the widest point and the length, measure your midrib in, measure your stem in. So it's all exactly the same, and you can build up anything from that. And if you've got your flower, I don't have the flower to hand, but if we had a flower, you would do the bounding box of the whole flower, work out where the centre is. So say if it was a daisy, work out where your centre is, plot in the circular middle, work out how many petals you've got, the length and width of each one, and plot all those in. So it makes it a nice easy way to get an accurate drawing down, because if you're just working from eye and you're just sort of freehanding, you can be extremely accurate, but it's not measured, it's not it's not completely precise. And in botanical illustration, that is what's most important. It needs to be precise. Okay, so I hope that you found this helpful. If you do have any questions or comments, then please let me know, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.